Right then, welcome back to Van Helsing. So, if you remember on my last recording, we were on mission 5 and including seeing Dracula and he just decides to take Van Helsing through the flicking window, or either let his babies do the flicking job instead, which is what happened. And when the babies were, or some of them, was taking us somewhere, and you did see that they died. As was when they died, Van Helsing fell all the way down from a great height towards the windmill. And slowly but surely, the windmill's actual blaze, it just goes and clockwise, and it just broke off and fell on the ground, which means Van Helsing's gone down the ground somewhere. As well as before all that happened, I was just do a bit of back travelling certain places to remind you where you could find some things. It involves finding a life increaser where you could find an egg, as well as how you can get the egg. It's basically get a weapon that was in an area with some of the babies that was in an area, and when I killed some of them, I just reminded you whereabouts the weapon was, which was on a high point of a balcony, and you can find it from up there, which I will show you again soon, which weapon you could get hold of, because it will be up there if you ever do your recording or you fancy playing the game. When you see me play it on my YouTube channel, you say, oh yeah, I remember that a few years back when I did have a PS2. But now these days almost everybody has a PS5 or a PS4 or Nintendo Switch or a Nintendo pretty sure it's a Nintendo E or something. There's definitely Nintendo Wii and Nintendo DS and all the other consoles that are out in the world now. But I'm more of a PS2 player and a PS4 player, as well as a Nintendo Wii person, but don't very usually play that. But then again, maybe someday I might do something on that. But I don't know yet. But yeah, anyway. So there was that, and I did try a challenge. I did start on my last recording, but I just couldn't do it. I'm just getting my ass kicked, basically, which was to do with the stone vampires that is allow you to stop you getting a special thing. But if you don't do it to be a success, then, well, you're not getting it. That's all I'm saying for that. As well as we are going to be making a success of finishing this next challenge. No. Let's start again. So let's start again, shall we? So this time will be a success of making a mission to be completed without getting stuck in the middle of it. Like, as you remember, that there's about 3 recordings I've done on mission 5 until I made the flicking mission finished. So today, mission 6 is going to be finished as quick as possible, instead of having 3 or 4 flicking recordings. But there's no hope in hell that's going to happen, because mission 6 is pretty straightforward. One is a short mission, but the next mission and the last mission I did, they are roughly the same size for it to be a bit more of a long time being completed. And before we do our next mission, it's after the mission, the last recording finished, the person said that it was involving that we had to find a very nice trying to think. Knowledge. There you go. He said, find the knowledge that is got to be found. But we've got to make fun of us and find the knowledge. That could be found in the area that we're in, is what it'll be all about. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So here we go. As well as you can see, there is new game, load game, and options and gallery. But we want to continue, don't we? Here we are. Remember what happens? That Thanos was facing on his face when he fell down from the windmill. He rolls on his back this time to look up, as you might have seen before we finished the last recording. So yep, he looks around, if you remember. And yeah, he picked up his gun, didn't he? But he's got 2 guns. As well as, before we go any further, we have got a red bar that you'll see perfectly fine over there, as well as close to the opposite side, that there are black squares right beside the red bar. Now, if you look very closely with the weapons that's on the opposite side, with those black squares underneath the black squares that's remaining, that there's a light blue bar. As well as, when I have said before that when you do your own start of the game, you'll have the red bar to be the same size as the light blue bar. And with the black squares with the red bar, that's not exactly the same as the light blue bar, because when you start the game you have the same size as the light blue bar, but as I haven't, I'm going to explain to you how that works. Right, well, with the light blue bar and the red bar, when you start your own game, you'll have the same size, as well as there would have been 15 black squares for the red bar to be filled up. Now you wonder, how do you do that? Well, in certain missions, whichever one you're on, you would have to find 2 life increases in any mission. And then when you find one of those black squares won't be filled up in red. It's because you're going to need to find another one. So you got to find 2, because when you pick up one, it will say 1/2. And then when you find another one, it will say 2nd half. And then one of the black squares will be filled up in red. As well as when you find all of the life increases from the missions, you'll have only 5 black squares remaining for you to have your red bar all the way to the opposite side. And you wonder, how do you do that? Well, it is involving doing something that you're going to have to do, which I'll get to in a moment. But also, on the right hand side of the light blue bar, there is also 5 black squares as well. So, with the 5 light blue black squares to be filled up, as well as the red 5 black squares, you have to buy them. So you have to buy 5 life increases for the 5 single black squares to be filled up, as well as the light blue bar. You have to buy 5 ammo increases for the black squares to be filled up in blue. So that's how that works. As well as, don't forget, from a couple of recordings back, from the start of mission 5, somewhere in the middle of it, I grabbed hold of the ammo on the shotgun. As well as, like I said, on my second recording, when I did part of mission 5 again, I did show you where the shotgun ammo was. So you would have had it. But if you haven't, you know exactly where it is when you check on a couple of recordings I have done, to allow you to know where you can find it. As well as with the pistols, when you start the game, you'll have the ammo to go onto the pistols, as well as in the start of the game, including with the swords, you'll have the ammo with those as well. So you don't have to do absolutely nothing apart from use the swords and the pistols with the ammo by just pushing one button to allow the light blue to be activated. By pushing L1 button, if you have been going through the control layouts and select the right one, that I have give you a couple of options which way of the layouts can be, to allow you to say, yep, I'm quite happy with the layouts of the controls and all the buttons. It's got to be in the certain places of the controller itself to allow you to do a good, nice, fantastic moves and jumps and everything else. So yeah, And it's the same button with the shotgun, because we already have got it. And also I did show you the weapon that you would have had in mission 5 when you would have found it. And so, if I get the camera to point like that, then you can see it perfectly. And so yeah, there it is. Also, last of all, on my last recording, I grabbed hold of one thing that I buyed. Was called a finisher slot. Now you wonder, what is that? Well, the finisher slot would be what you'll find underneath the red bar. And they are like glass bottles. And the finisher slots are basically allow you to knock some enemies' health all the way down. And as I said before, some of them do not knock the enemy's health all the way down. But some of those can knock a bit of their health down. Not a massive amount, but some bit of health down. As long as you've got plenty of those to do a good job of knocking their health down a bit more quicker, instead of using the weapons all the time. So you can do that. So, you're wondering, what price was that when you bought it? Well, the price was 3,500, and that was the only last one I had to buy, because usually in the start of the game you'll have 3 of those and you could buy 2 more, but I will get to that very soon about some more details about that, because you want to find out what happens next, which is what we're going to do. Instead of talking all this shit that's been dealt with, but it's just a reminder. Okay, so when you just press X to slide off the edge, you'll land it, and you can do the same thing. Press X, so you'll slide down. Right, next, there's going to be a surprise. When you press X again, or just jump all the way down, you'll find this enemy, but not just 1, 2, 3, and what these are electric skulls, close to being like the skeletons, but these don't have bodies, they're just heads that can send a bit of this kind of stuff, that can knock your health down quite a bit, as well as they can explode if you don't move out of the way when they are just about to come in your way, like that on there. So make sure you just move out of the way at the right time. Also, with the enemies you're up against, whichever one, always keep the accuracy on by holding the R1 button in, and just use the weapons by pressing the square. Also, as you can see me doing a roll around all over the place, press the X at the same time. But always keep the square button in for the electricity weapon that I'm using, or the shotgun, the pistols and the crossbow. But with these skulls that's got the electricity, or well, yeah, electric skulls, just use the electricity weapon and you can just knock a bit of their health down, as long as you keep dodging around the place, and then you'll be okay. But you can always use the other weapons if you want, but I've always said myself that I've always found it easy with using this weapon I have been using to deal with them. Right, so what you want to do, next of all, you want to jump up it and jump again. But this time, you're going to need to use your grapple hook with R1 and triangle to pull yourself up. And over it, in this bit right here, where I'm standing, you'll find a ammo, R-E-P-L-E-N-I-S-H-R. Now you're wondering, what's that? Well, what it's for is allow you to top up the light blue bar back up to the size you did leave the ammo. As well as, if you haven't got one, you can pick it up. But you're wondering, why is that word going up there saying I can't carry any more? Well, it's because you can only carry a certain amount. Now, speaking of which, if you haven't got one of those, press the triangle, and then once you pick it up, you'll find it been put in turn area, which will be when you press the start button, and where you'd have INVENTORY, and it'll be in items. It'll be there, unless it's your first thing you've picked up, it'll be at the top, and then the other ones will be underneath. So, as I said, if you got 3, you can't carry any more. So that's why I can't carry any more. But also with the other 2, which is a speed boost, you can have 3 of those. As well as you can have 3 life, R-E-P-L-E-N-I-S-H-R. Now you're wondering, what does that do? Well, what it does is top your life bar back up to the size it reaches, from the size you wanted to have it to be, or if it's only smaller than mine, then that's fine. And just do whatever you want to do, basically. If you had low experience, you've played loads and loads and loads of times like I have, and you know you're more smarter than some of the enemies, and you can just keep the health all the way down if you wanted to, but it's risky. It's very, very risky. So yeah, that's where you'll find that. So next, you want the grapple hook with R1 and triangle. When you see a colour thing in the middle, say you can use the grapple hook and swing yourself across. And then what you're going to do is press X just at the right time to land it. And on top of this little bit here I'm standing on that was on the floor, or on this bit, they are a green thing, which I'll get to in a moment, because what you want to do is press X to slide down. And also, if you look closely in the middle, there's something down there. Right, so what you're going to do is press X and slide down, and then what you'll find when you press the triangle button, it'll be a life increaser. As well as I said before, when you find one, if you did see that the red bar didn't move, so that's why you're going to have to find another one. But that's just me that's got to do it, because you're watching me, ain't you? So these little green things that'll be on the floor will go in the middle of your red bar and your light blue bar and all the other black squares to be filled up. Now you wonder, what is this for? Well, it's basically your basket, like a money bag, or either your credit card from when you're working your socks off all day and getting £50 or whatever kind of money you get from working all the time for a week. All that kind of stuff. But yep, that's what this is. The green God symbol that's in the middle of the red bar underneath that you can see perfectly. So that is your basically your money bag to buy whatever you want and however you want. But I'm going to get to that very soon, because you want to find out what happens next and how. Right, also you find a box barrel to smash, which is usually that will give you some green God symbol or a red one. Now the red one will allow your health to squeeze up a little bit, especially when it goes down from the enemies that you get whacked with. Also, when you come in this area, you want to get your crossbow out or your shotgun, and do not do the grapple hook just yet, because you'll find some fiery skulls this time. So stay where you are, because they could kick your freaking arse. And also, if you see those red and green things down there, you don't want to leave them far too late, because they will disappear. But also when you do that now, you'll get rid of them. Also what I'm going to do is try and land in the right place. Yep, done most of that. Where you can find some more fiery skulls this time. Also, like I said before, in mission 5, just move a couple of inches and wait and wait and wait, and then you'll be all good. Right, also there's another one come from the middle of nowhere, so that's why I haven't gone too far, because usually, as I said before, that when you move ahead a couple of inches, there'll be some more of whatever enemy you're up against. And also, if you might have sussed out what's around the place, good for you. But if you're not too sure, well, you'll find out sooner or later. Right, also, you might want to hop straight back up it, but be careful, because if you climb back up here, you can go straight back through the entrance where you just come from, especially this area. So once you've dealt with that, you've got a grab hook for yourself to pull up here, and find another one for you to pull yourself across over it. As well as you have got one over here, but don't go there just yet. So if you have done just what I've just done, you can go back, but there's also another reason why I've done this. Just because usually when you go over it, you'll alert another one. And so, wherever the red and green bits are gone, I'll have to find it, because I might be after something I really want. But still, as I said before, you'll find some more similar enemies when you're proceeding ahead. Come on, get over here, you numbnuts, dipsticks. Hey, you're dead next. That's right. Okay. So that should be all the enemies dealt with for now. Right, over here is where you want to be, with the orange or red colour, for you to use your grapple hook, which is what you want to do with R1 and triangle to get yourself across. Try over it, because you'll find something in here. You wonder what's that in there. Well, you'll find out sooner or later. Right, also you got a barrel there, and also one of these things again. Now, if you remember, on the last corner I showed you one of these. which I said about. There's going to be something behind it. As well as you're wondering what's behind it. As well as you're probably saying to me, can you destroy it? Well, you certainly can. And there's two ways. I've always found it the easy way. The easy way that you can do is go and get the electricity weapon and use it to smash it, which is a brick wall that can do just that. So there you go. But usually there's a specific thing that you really desperately might want, but it's nothing special, because what is over it is a life replenishR for your life bar to go back up to the same size that you did have, but mine's had a bit of a smashing. So as I said before, if you got one or two of the life replenishR, or one or two of the speed boosts, or just one ammo replenishR for the light blue bar or the red bar to go back up, or the speed boost for a specific thing that you really enjoy using. So as I've got two, might as well fucking pick one up. Okay, so there's that for you. So now I've got three on top of the other two that was up to three, because in mission 5 I was using one or two to make a success out of not messing up on challenge that I just couldn't flicking do. But I've always found a way. Okay, so over it, in this little barrel thing, you're wondering, what is that? Well, you want to push the triangle to stop. And what this is your crossbow with the light blue bar that you'll find in there. So what I'm going to do is jump all the way down. But when you're doing that, don't worry about your health, because it won't go down. It'll always stay the same, okay? So don't worry about that. So you're wondering, what does the crossbow ammo do? Because that's what you'll find over there in that little barrel thing, or the trolley. Oh, what it does, as well as involving the L1 button that I'm going to have to push once, because if you push it once, the light blue bar will go down. But also, when you haven't noticed you pushed that by accident, and you're moving around and you don't look up, that you see your light blue bar going down, because it will go down even if you don't push the square or the circle with the ammo that goes to whichever weapon you've got already. It'll just go down. So you might want to push the L1 button again to stop it. Okay, so there's that, as well as you're going to find out what the ammo does on this crossbow. Watch. Yeah, look at that explosion there. Similar to what those skulls do that I was dealing with just a few moments ago when I was in this area. Right, next of all, we'll find some barrels over here, and a box, and another box, and another barrel, as well as, once again, that symbol again. So now you're wondering, what's behind it? as was, will there be another Life REPLENISHR behind there? Or is there something else behind it? As was, you're wondering, or you're saying to me, can you destroy it? Well, you definitely can as well. So you can smash those too. So, with the ammo, with the crossbow, you can use that if you want, but you don't have to. Because you can use the electricity weapon to smash it as well. And when you press the square, you'll find a cheat behind it. That's what's behind there. And usually, as I said before, that whenever I do pick up one, I will show you what it does. As well as I did show you that I selected one, but I said it just doesn't make sense to me of how it works. But we'll try that again soon, or in a few minutes or so. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so the cheats, you're wondering, what is that cheat that I have picked up? Because as I said, whenever I pick up one, I'll show you which one it is and what it does, if a couple of them makes perfect sense. As well as you're saying there's more. Well, there certainly is. Okay, so when you press the start and go into INVENTORY, you'll find weapons, moves, cheats, including the items. Now, you can do it the easy way by pushing L3 towards the left and push the left D-pad button, whichever button you want to push. Or if you want to do it the awkward way, by pushing L3 towards the right 3 times, or push the right D-pad button 3 times. But it's always best to push the L3 towards the left or the left D-pad button once, and you'll be all good. Which is what I'm going to do. Right, so there are 24 cheats in total. Now, with the 24 cheats, there is only one that you can't get off until you have done the game in hard difficulty. So yeah, you're going to have to get a cheat by finishing the game on hard difficulty, which is what my plan is soon. As well as there is one cheat you're going to have to get if you look after a specific thing that Van Lassen really likes. But speaking of which, on mission 5, I didn't even bloody do that. So that means I'm not gonna get a cheat because I've lost it. So whichever mission you're doing, keep your eyes peeled on where it is, as well as some areas where you are in the missions. What it'll do is vanish. Because when I was in one part of the area in mission 5, I knew it was on the floor and I died, and I had to go back into the same room where the hat was, and time I went to go back in there, oh, it's not flicking there. Great. So that means I have to do the game again. But when I mean that, you don't have to delete the game and stop from scratch. It's because you can finish the game and do all the missions again and just make sure that Van Helsing keeps it. Because also that's why I'm hoping and praying that when I do it on hard difficulty, it won't happen again. But we'll see. But also, with another 5 cheats. You can get all of them if you complete 5 of a specific thing, which I've already done one. That'll be involving to do with this one right here. But for now, we are going to go to the one that I have picked up. So you're wondering which one is that? Okay, so which one it'll be is Sick Player. Now you're wondering, what on earth does that do? Well, what it'll do is a specific thing close to being when you're in the theme park and you're going on spinny rides. It makes your vision go funny, which is what this is going to do. But also what I'm going to do is go to this cheat here from the challenge that I completed, but it didn't do a great deal of things because it is saying the GARGOYLES, whatever it spells, the word take on ALTERNATE formats. So whatever that all means, I'm pretty sure that's got to be confirming to the enemies of whichever enemy you're on. Pretty sure that's that. That's the bit I can't work at. But yeah, the cheat that you'll find from here in this little hole, which is Sick Player, and this is what it's gonna do. Look at it. And it's swerving around all over the place. So yeah, it'll do that. So I'm going to keep this on for now, just to show you what it does and give you a good view of how it works. So once you grab all those 2 things, and especially the ammo for the crossbow, you want to do R1 triangle and go straight over towards this side over here. And when you do, you'll be somewhere else over by this bridge. Right, what you want to do is get the crossbow out, and then you can jump all the way down if you want, or you can just go across this bridge, what you'll find, as well as a gap that you can jump across. But you'll find some electricity fuckers. So you can use the crossbow with the arrow, or you could simply just use the electricity weapon. But the trouble with this thing, when you're pushing the square, it will give you some time to just stay still in one spot, which is not ideal of what you're not hoping to get, but it does. Also, what you can do, jump down again. So you might want to use the crossbow instead of just keep pushing the square in and holding it in while you're up against these skulls with the electricity that they can do. Also, when you hear that sound, it's always saying your enemies are ahead. Also, push the L1 button by accident. So, like I said, if you push the L1 by accident, you want to push it again before you hold the square button in. And I'm dead. So when that happens, the cheat will be unticked with a box that will be involving in it. So it'll do that. Okay. But still, what I'm going to do is go to this cheat right here. to try and get some ideas of what it's supposed to do. So yeah, the sick player will be having the word unticked with a box that'll be on the left and on the right hand side where the word is. So there's that for you. So you can always just use a crossbow instead of just the electricity, because yeah, it can cause you a bug or an issue when you're trying to move around the place and this electricity line comes across. And also one's just flicking knives me off. Trick. But yeah, doesn't matter if you jump off or not, it's no problem. So there's that for you. Also, when you have these down it, all you've got to do is just push L3 towards the right or the left or down or up. And up is going backwards. Depends on which angle of where Van Arsen's standing around where you're based from. And just keep the square button pushed in for the crossbow, the shotgun, the pistols, and the electricity weapon you've got. But always with the swords, just keep pushing the circle in and out, which is the problem with the swords. As well as when you stand it, by jumping on top of it, you can do the grapple hook with R1 and triangle to pull yourself on top of on here. Usually, when you do, you'll send some more electricity skulls, but it hasn't happened yet, but it's supposed to for everybody. Also, you want to hop straight up here and over it, and when you do, usually there's some more. There we go, there we are. There's the sound again, saying the enemies are ahead or somewhere. Also, when the electricity line appears, what we want to do is just try and move out of the way, whichever angle and everywhere else. And you'll be all good. So yeah. So as long as you keep the R1 button pushed in with the weapons, you'll be all good. Just keep being accurate. That's what I'm going to do, is do a couple of jumps like this to pick up the ones that will fall on the floor. Because when you don't know where they are, or you're trying to slowly remember whereabouts they fell or wherever they are, they will have a few seconds before they start flashing, and then when they flash for a few more seconds, they will disappear. So make sure you keep an eye on where they will fall, or just stay in one place where you'll be. Also, next of all, what you want to do is go R1 and triangle, so pull yourself up over it and hop on top of it, where you'll find another life increaser. As well as my health is not exactly full, but like I said, when you find the first half and you find another half, once again, watch at the top, the red bar will have budged itself for another one of the black squares to be available for the red bar of the only black square that you see that's just not red at all until you found the other half for the black square that's next, for it to reach a different colour than bloody black all the time, for it to be red instead. How about that? Okay, so once you've done that, what you want to do is smash all the boxes and barrels if you've got this far, and then you'll find this little brick stone wall or wherever it is that you're wanting. What's behind it, as well as how do you destroy it? Well, you can destroy it, but what you're going to need to do is get your crossbow out and use the ammo for it. So L1 and square, and push L1 again to stop it. To say, no, I don't want the light blue bar to go down, thank you very much. And so just do that, and then you'll be all good. Right, so don't forget, in the most important bit where a guy was said about what comes next, because there's something coming in the next bit, as well as the knowledge may be found there, which is what we're going to find out for Van Helsing, because he's got to find the knowledge. And you wonder, what is it? Well, it's all involved in this scene right here. So there's a fire there. That's nice, been nice and warm, didn't he? So if we're in the cold. But also this thing right here. That is Frankenstein. So, if you remember on mission 1 that I was doing, on my other half of the second recording I did do in the game, that Frankenstein's name was not there, because what you would have seen was this guy that would have had a black jacket, as well as have 4 question marks on it. Also, when he does that, you want to move and just keep walking out of the way until he stops. Also, when he does that, oh shit. Ah! Right, also, like I said, when you die, your cheat will be unticked, as well as your health bar will go all the way back up, but the light blue bar will not. Also, if you're picking up all your life increases, don't worry, you don't have to pick those all up again. It's because it will be saved automatically. Okay. So also I'm going to go back to the cheat that was from a challenge that still not shows you a specific thing. What I'm not expecting to know exactly what the hell it does. So before you manage to finish mission 1, this guy will add a question mark, because Van Helsing hasn't got a clue who he is. Also, I'm pushing the wrong buttons and everything fucking else, but I think we're there. Van Helsing, you'll be fine. Nope. Right, also, the reason why he's smacking himself against a brick wall and everything else is because, as you can see, that there is electricity around him. That's where it's come from. Also, when he does a bit of a stomp on the ground, what you can do is just press X to jump over to avoid him, as well as when you know he's just about to run towards a wall, just jump out of the way, or just move out of the way a bit with L3, and then you're all good. Also,
who are you? I don't know. Who are you?
you'll see these two have a nice chat,
Perhaps a friend.
as well as Van Helsing still got his hat. But yeah, if you lose the hat on any mission, there's no getting something you really might want.
They are Dracula's offspring. They are born dead. But he is trying to give them life. They didn't seem dead to me. Until they started exploding, that is. He gives them life with Father's machine. Just as Father gave me life. But they cannot sustain it. He must have a living conductor. Belkin. Yes. But the werewolf is too much man and not enough monster. That is why Dracula must never find me. I am the monster he needs. I've seen many monsters.
There's the knowledge.
Believe me, you are not a monster. Your words are kind but untrue. I am born of science. And how could science possibly create a soul?
What was that?
Dracula must not know where I am. He must not. He won't. No, you don't understand. His eyes are the werewolf's eyes. He sees what they see.
Whoa, there you go. There's the knowledge. There was only 27 minutes and 3 seconds for me to finish mission 6. So, as you saw, a thing that ran off, as well as some sort of footprints. Now, what that is a werewolf. That is a person that is being a werewolf, that the Frankenstein said Velgen, or Van Helsing said it, sorry, say one person's name. So yeah, Velgen is the werewolf, as well as when Frankenstein said, "You don't understand, a werewolf's eyes is Dracula's eyes." So what he means by that is that wherever Velgen goes, Dracula will know. So basically what Velgen the werewolf's done is spotted where Frankenstein is, as well as go towards Dracula, and go and cross the perfect person for Van Helsing to understand, which is Frankenstein. So what Velgen's done is helped Dracula know where Velgen is, that where Frankenstein is. So basically what that means is that Dracula's going to know where Frankenstein is, and basically going to find his way of getting him. But also what Van Helsing's got to do is protect him. But it's a question as if he actually can. But if you know what happens in the film, then you know exactly what I mean. But if you haven't, then it's a little bit of experience, as well as understand of roughly which way this game's gonna end up in, as well as that Van Helsing's going somewhere when he run it off. Where could he go? We're about to find out sooner or later. As well as mission 6 is complete with 27 minutes and 3 seconds, as I said. Next one down, you've got best kills. We've only got 17 of those. Shots fired. There's up to 579, which involves the pistols, the shotgun, crossbow, and the electricity weapon. But also, if you're using the ammo on the electricity weapon, no, wrong one. If you're using the electricity, it will not allow the numbers to creep up so quickly, because usually the ammo that is on the crossbow, the shotgun, and the pistols will allow those numbers to go up to a freaking great height of a number like 3,000. But luckily we've got 579 in it. Next of all, you've got MELEE hits, which is to do with the source of how many times you whack an enemy at or on them. And we've got 4. Damage taken, which is the enemies that does damage on you. We've got 184. Power, which is the green god symbol that you will pick up, or however how many. We have got 9,255 on there. As well as finished with hat on. Yes, but like I said, if you have finished the mission without no hat on, you won't be getting a specific thing. So make sure every single fucking mission that you're doing has to have the word yes on it. And last of all, enemies killed, of how many you kill. Lucky I've got 34. If you like killing a load of enemies, then go ahead, do that. Next we've got armory and continue underneath. Now, if you want to continue a mission, then make sure the word continue is in white. But also, you're wondering, what is armory? Well, it's a shop where you can spend a load of green god symbol things that you'll collect in the game. As words, if you want to go in there, make sure the word is in white, which is what I am going to do right now, because I'm going to do some explaining. Now, you have the green god symbol sitting there that will say 9,255. As well as there is something else that will be underneath. That is a life increaser that is up to 1,000. So, now then, what I'm going to do is go to the next one, because I'm not going to give you any more information about that at the moment. Next one, you've got life, REPLENISH, that will be 500 for you to buy. But as well as it's a darker colour than the life increaser is. Now you're wondering why. It is because I said before that if you got 3 of them, you can't buy them. As well as if you find them in any mission, you don't have to buy a fucking thing. So if you haven't got any yet and you finish the mission and you fancy having your life bar to go back up to the size you did have, you can go and buy 1 or 2 for 500. How about that? But like I said, if you've got 3 already, you don't have to buy 3 of those with 500 every time when you're buying bloody one of them. So yeah, you don't have to buy 500 for one of these things at all. Next, you've got ammo increase up that is up to 1000. Now, once again, this is to do with the light blue bar, as well as the life increase up that you might remember about that I said that it is 1000. So with the ammo increaser and the life increaser, each one of these 2, life increaser or ammo increaser, they both will be 1000, as you can see over there. As well as when you buy one, the price will go up, as well as when you always buy any of these 2 for the first time, or however how many you want, those prices will be still the same number. But as I haven't bought any, they will be still the same number. So, as I said before, that whenever you buy one of these 2, one of the black squares will be filled up in blue or red. As well as, you're wondering what is the prices for those 2? Well, 1000, as you can see. Another one will be 1500. Another one will be 2000. Another one will be 2500. And the last one will be 3000. So be very, 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 very freaking careful how you pay for these things. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you buy one of these life increases, because one of the black squares will be filled up in red, and every time when you're buying one of these ammo increases, the light blue bar will be filled up, one of those 5 black squares to be filled up in blue. And don't forget that with the 15 black squares for the red bar, there are 5 life increases for 5 black squares to be filled up, and the rest of the 10 you have to find 2 life increases in any mission for one of those black squares to be filled up to give you 15, unless you buy 5 of these, including finding several loads of life increases in any mission. So there's that. Next of all, you've got ammo, REPLENITHR, that is worth 500, as well as you can buy one for 500, but as I said, that it's darker than the ammo increaser and the life increasers, because I've got 3 of those. As well as, instead of buying one, you could basically find them from any mission, and you don't have to buy a bloody thing, especially for 500. But you can if you need it. Next of all, you've got a speed boost that is up to 800, but also I've got 3 of those, so I don't have to buy that. But as long as you've got 3 of those, then you'll be all good. But also, you're wondering what is the speed boost do and why the fuck it's up to 800. Well, what it'll do is allow you to run fast, as well as the weapons like the pistols, shotgun, crossbow, and the electricity weapon. They can go fast. and it will last 20 seconds. So that's why that is up to 800. As well as you can have 3 of those, just like the life REPLENISHR and the ammo REPLENISHR. Okay, there's that. Next of all, you've got Dodge Fob that has been sold out, as well as when you buy this thing, it will allow the pistols, shotgun, and the crossbow to fob 2 times. And how do you do that? With where it's going to say dodge fire from. Well, what you got to do is hold R1, press square and X, and then push L3 towards the left or right to do a roll towards the left or right. And you can do a back roll by pushing the L3 down. And then whichever direction you want to go, you can get those things to go bang bang. As well as the price is 1,500 if you want it. But as I'll pay for it, it will say sold out. So there it is. Grapple strike is next. There's 500. And basically it's the grapple hook for you to do a good thing with the weapon. Is when you don't buy 500 and you're pushing the R1 and the triangle at your enemies, you can't hurt them. So when you do pay for it, you can hurt your enemies with those things. With R1 and triangle, with the accuracy, as well as push the triangle to pull your enemies, whichever kind of one it is, and you can hurt them a bit with it. That's why it's up to 500. It's a nice sharp little thing, not like any other ones. But the next one on the list is to do with the saws, especially the one that's spinning in the picture that you can see there. Now, what this is Grand Strike that is worth 1,500, and what it's going to do is allow you to hold R1, which is always what I said about accuracy. Hold that in and push forward, which is asking you to use L3 and push that upwards. And of course it will perform a MELEE attack, so it's basically the name of the saw, and do a nice attack with it to strike and sometimes pop enemies that have fallen on the ground. So that's what I can do. Next of all, you've got 2 Joe Fob for the saws again, but this is a 2,000, this one. And of course, it's asking, hold your 2 Joe attack to flying your 2 Joe BLADES, what it spells to be at opponents. I'm pretty sure that's what OPPONENTS is spelled to be. 4. Next of all, you've got Air Hop that is worth 1,000, as well as it's for the saws again. And also, after holding the airstrike attack button, which is the circle button that you're going to need to use to rise into the air, press a DIRECTION, what was supposed to be at the word, and tap X to jump on thin air. So that's what Thanos can do by jumping on thin air when you press the X. So there's that for 1,000 if you want it. Next of all, what this weapon is that you'll grab hold of, which is spelt with SCIMITARS. So whatever that word is, as well as swinging. That'll be next right beside the name of the word of the weapon. So you can swing with these things. So you can swing with these weapons. As well as after holding Grand Strike, which is what you're going to have to buy first, for 1,500, and then hold R1, push forward, which is L3 up again, and attack with the weapon, which is the name of SCIMITARS, to perform a spinning. So you can make them spin, like I said. And of course, when you swing the weapon of the name of it, can allow it to do a nice attack with it. So how about that? Next we've got the swords again, but also the name of it, MELEE. And also what it can do is explosion. I'm pretty sure that's what EXPLOSION is supposed to be. But also it's 2000. So be very, very careful because it is expensive. But I'm not paying for it. Not yet anyway. Because I don't need it. As well as when you pay for it, it will do a ring of ice or fire explodes. I'm pretty sure that's what EXPLODES is supposed to be. From the last hit of your ALTERNATE. And of course, ammo with a light blue bar, what it's all about. As well as the name of it, MELEE. And of course, combos. So it's going to be a last hit of it. As well as I'm pretty sure the cheat from the challenge you complete, I'm pretty sure that's why it's not working for me unless I do buy this thing. Pretty sure that's what that's all about. But I could be wrong. But still, like I said, it is expensive. And last of all is finish a slot. Like I said before, these things will allow your enemy's health to go all the way down, but some enemies' health will not go all the way down. So you could possibly buy some more, because like I said before, in the first mission you do, or your first time playing it, you'll have 3 of those, and you can buy 2 more. And of course, the first one will be 2,500, and the last one will be 3,500, which I paid for last time. Right, so there's that. And also, when you're on mission 7, which is what's next, you might want to buy the dodge fob for that, and possibly buy 2 finisher slots if you got a lot more and you haven't already bought those things. You can. That'll help you. Also, you can buy 1 life increaser or 2, but you could always just buy 1 and go for 2 ammo increases if you want. Those are the options there you can do it with, but I'm not going to buy nothing because I don't need it, because I've got more experience than other bits and pieces. As well as, once again, when I press continue, I'm going to get someone to read some information, and then once he's done that, I'm going to leave the recording. So here we go. This is what we've got in store for mission 7 for you to know about, if you haven't played this game already.
The Castle Frankenstein, my son, is the site of Dracula's greatest ambition. The place where he believes he can bring his progeny to life. You must besiege it and wrest it from his grasp.
There you go. There it is. The Castle Frankenstein, my son, is a side of Dracula's great ambition. The place where he believes he can bring his proceeding to life, if that's what PROGENY is spelled to be. As well as you must breach it and wisp it from his grasp. There you are. So yeah, that's what you've got to do. But I'm the one doing it, so I have to do the job. As well as I'll be doing that next time. But before we do anything else, we press an X, and we'll be in this area. Yeah, we're over here. But I'm not going to go too far. So yeah, that's where we'll be starting. And that's how far we're going to get to. So yeah, there it is. I hope you've enjoyed the journey so far from what I have done this time. It's got a much better as well as a bit more shorter than just having about 3 recordings to get that bloody mission finished. Not like mission flicking 5. Because like I said, mission 5 is a long one. As well as 7 can be a long one. So I'm hoping and praying that I won't be doing more than 2 recordings for it to be dealt with. But we'll have to see. As well as whatever comes next. You're probably wondering what is next. You'll find out soon. So, once again, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I shall catch you on the next one soon. Take care.